Hello students, today we will discuss scene 4th of the play The Hairy Ape. The firemen are gathered in the ship's forecastle. Yank's watch, the man in his workshop, have completed their work and the man gathered to rest. All but Yank have showered. The men are unable to fully clean the areas around their eyes, giving them a slightly menacing appearance. In contrast, Yank is still fully covered in coal dust, brooding and hunched over in the position of Rodin, the thinker. The men watch Yank carefully, expecting some sort of outburst after his encounter with Mildred. They tease he has forgotten to wash and he remains sullen. They tell Yang the dust will not come off his skin, that it will make him itch and give him spots like a leopard. Insulted, he tells the man to lay off, that he is trying to think and link always. The man's chime think. Yang jumps up and asks them what is wrong with his thinking. Paddy finally decides to speak and suggests that Yang has fallen in love with Mildred. The man repeats Paddy's statement mockingly, shouting love. Yang tells the man he has fallen in hate, not love. Paddy informs Yang that only a very wise man could tell the difference between love and hate. Paddy tells Yang that Mildred must love him after all. Why else would she have come into the stock hole? Long jumps up on the bench and cries out that Mildred and the engineers greatly insulted the man. Long asks the firemen what right Mildred and the engineers have to come look at the firemen like animals in a zoo. Long also informs the man that Mildred is the daughter of a millionaire who makes half of the steel in the world, and that is why she was able to get into the stock hole. Long then suggests that the man can go to the law for the insult they suffered. Yank replies, Ha, law. The men in unison repeat after him, law. Paddy suggests that they go to the government in the same pattern. Yank escorts hell governments. Again, the entire crew of firemen repeats after Yank governments. Long frenetically suggests that at least God would look at the man equally. Again, Yank and the man repeat God. Yank tells Long to join the Salvation Army. Long gets off to the table and Paddy speaks. Paddy bitterly describes the engineer talking to Mildred about the man working, pointing at the workers like animals in the circus. Yank defensively tells Paddy he thought Mildred was a ghost. Paddy once again suggests, this time sarcastically, that he could see the kind, loving look in her eyes, just as if she saw a great hairy ape escapes from the Jew. Yank is struck by the thought of Mildred calling him a hairy ape. Yank tries to explain that he was just as scared by Mildred as she was by him. He thought she was a ghost. However, the damage is done and no amount of explanation can dispel the insult. Yank vows to get revenge on Mildred. Yank tells the man that Mildred does not belong, but the firemen do, all the while his anger escalating. Finally, enraged, he madly dashes to find Mildred, but before he reaches the door, is tackled by the other man. Paddy reminds Yank it is foolish to try to get revenge on Mildred. She has not a real drop of blood in her. Language and speech distinguishes class difference among characters. Within the hairy ape, a character's ability to think and reason is exposed by speech within the play. The firemen are immediately identified as less intelligent than Mildred, her aunt, and other higher class characters because they speak in broken, at times incomprehensible utterances. Yank cannot even properly say the word thing, a running joke among the men. In scene 1, Yank himself even laughs at his pronunciation because the word and the concept of thought is itself a joke thoroughly, unnecessarily in the stock hole. Yet in scene 4, the Tink joke is replayed once again, but Yank's reaction had changed. Yank is truly offended by the fireman's mockery. Yes, Tink, that's what I said. What about it? Mildred, surprised visit to the stock hole has posed a danger that Yank cannot ward off with punches of physical might, and thought is suddenly essential. O'Neill specifically notes that Yank takes on the physical stance of Rodin's sculpture. The thinker. During this moment in the play, although he cannot think, this is his best attempt. He takes on the physical characteristic and interpretation of the quintessential thinker. As scene 4 opens, Yang rests in the position while the other men sit about smoking. They look at him half amusedly, as if they saw a joke. Students, in the next class, we will discuss the next scene. Thank you.